Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. On this channel, we learn alcohol ink, watercolor, and other creative art projects together. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. This morning I wanted to play with my alcohol inks, but I'm dealing with some humidity, so I decided to do something a little abstract. In these bottles I have a mixture of alcohol and ink. I don't measure it. I can't tell you how much alcohol to ink I have in each bottle. Whenever I have an empty bottle of ink, I put some alcohol in it, shake it up, and I put it in these bottles. All the blues go in a bottle, the yellows, the greens, etc. And that's what I'm going to use today. I have a blending pen, some micron pens, and some Posca pens. I'll also be using my blow dryer. And I'm using Amazon Basics glossy photo paper. This is the matte side, not the glossy side. So I've sprayed some alcohol on my paper, and now I'm just adding some color, and I'm going to move it around with a paintbrush to help spread it on the paper. And then I'm just going to swish it around while it's drying so I get a soft transition between colors, or so I thought. And of course, I'm pretty impatient. So I got the blow dryer out and decided to dry this. And I did get some marks on the paper, which I didn't like. I did want a nice smooth texture, but I wasn't getting that. And again, I'm very impatient. So I dried it with the blow dryer. Then I took my mini mister and I sprayed some alcohol on it. And then I dried it. And I liked the way it looked in one part, but I didn't like the rest, so I sprayed some more alcohol on it and then used the dryer to get that pebbly look that I'm so fond of. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 3 colors and I'm going to put a dot of each on the paper. And if you don't have these little bottles with the mixture of alcohol and ink, you can just use straight ink from the bottle. This just makes it a little bit easier for me. And now that I've dried it, I'm going to add a different color into the center of each of those circles. And once it's dry, I'm going to do it again. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center. And then I'm just going to add a few dots of the different colors in the background. To be honest, I wasn't too sure where I was going with this. I had a vision in my mind of what I wanted to create. And I just went with it. So here I'm taking a size 5 micron pen and I'm creating these shapes around the first 3 circles that I created. Then I'm outlining and making these little wiggly marks around the circles in the center, which I later on decided I did not like. And I'm thickening up the lines. I should have used a thicker marker. But going over it a second time did the trick. And of course, you can create whatever shape you like. This is just what I came up with. I think flower petals would have been nice as well. And throughout this process, you'll see that I'm constantly drying the paper or the ink or the marker because I don't want to smudge anything. Now, I decided to pull out my chrome markers in gold and silver, and I didn't like those little squiggly lines that I done around the center circle, so I decided to dot over it. And this is a really fun, relaxing painting. It doesn't have to make sense. It can be whatever shape you like. It's just a relaxing doodle. So now if you're not good with making straight lines, you can use guides like I'm doing here, and then you can fill in the lines in between. And these guides will help you keep your lines going in the correct direction, and it'll help keep your lines straight as well. So I'm going to go around all of the shapes and I'm going to fill it in with these lines. This entire painting is all about dots and lines, keeping it simple, relaxing, and fun. Okay, so now I have filled in all the shapes with the lines, and I'm now taking a micron pen, and those gold and silver dots that I did around the inner circle really don't show up. So I decided to outline them, or to trace them, with a black marker, and that really made it show up better. I was happy with that. Again, I had no idea where I was going with this, so I was kind of making it up as I went along. And that's the fun of it. If you don't have a plan, but you want to paint and you just do whatever comes to mind, there's no pressure, no stress for perfection or getting it right. It's just letting yourself go and having some fun. And I think we all need that now and then. So now I'm taking the different color Posca pens and I'm just dotting around those blobby shapes that I created. Again, making sure it's completely dry because I am notorious for smudging. And now I'm going to take the metallic markers and I'm going to do some dots on those circles that I did for the background. And I'm not doing the ones within the shapes that I drew, just the ones that are on the outside. Now I'm going to use the micron pens and create center, not micron, Posca, and create a center in some of those outside circles. And I'm using a micron pen here to create some little lines just to make it more interesting. Again, using the metallic chrome pens to create centers or circles in the centers of those blobs. And you can see that they're not perfectly centered, they're off center. And then I'm going to outline them and draw some more little lines. This can't get any simpler, it's just dots and lines. And as usual, it's really easy to get carried away. You can go as far as you like with this. It's just so relaxing and so much fun to see how it turns out. I had no idea what this was going to look like when I finished, but I didn't let that stop me. I just kept going. What's the worst that can happen? I wasted a little ink and some markers, but I enjoyed it, and that's what's important. So I used the micron pen to create more lines within the centers of those blobs, and some more dots just to make the centers stand out a little bit more. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I will post a picture of the finished painting. And consider joining our Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials, where you can post your versions of the paintings and techniques learned on this channel. I created that group so that my viewers would have a place to share their versions of my paintings and with me, rather. We have a wonderful group of members. They are so nice, so supportive, so encouraging, and so talented. And I'm very active in the group, so if you ever have any questions, you get stuck, you can always reach me there. And don't forget to check out the description box for a link that will bring you right to a list of all the products used in this video in case you have any questions or want to know more about the products that I use. Well, we are nearing the end of this video. This was a lot of fun. I hope that you give something like this a try. Get creative and let your imagination loose and see what you can come up with. All right, everyone. Thank you so very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.